Hello everyone, I am Derek. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about speaking sample, which a lot of students struggle with. I know many of you get nervous just hearing the word interview, but honestly, speaking sample is not as hard as you think. Let me explain how it works. First, it's not the examiner asking random questions. You'll get a clear topic and you have a full 3 minutes to answer. This 3 minutes is super important because your interview video will be sent to the schools you apply to along with your scores. The admissions officers will look at not just what you say, but also your facial expressions, speaking rhythm, and overall demeanor. So you must talk for the full 3 minutes. Now, a lot of students run into problems here. Either they run out of things to say before the time's up, or they don't know what to talk about, or their speech is all over the place. Today, I am going to teach you a universal template that can solve most speaking sample questions. Let me break down how to use this template. First, you start with, I'm going to talk about plus the topic. For example, if the question is about whether students should choose their own courses, you say, I am going to talk about whether students should decide what to learn by themselves or follow school courses. The second part is background. You say, when it comes to plus the specific topic, people have different ideas due to different experience. That means when it comes to this topic, people think differently because of their different experiences. The third part is stating your opinion. First you say, some believe that, plus the other people's opinion. Then you say, on the contrary, I personally believe that, plus your opinion. The fourth part is the most important, using your own experience to support your opinion. You say, I want to share my perspective because this topic brings me back to the last time. I plus something you did in the past. This must be in past tense. Then you continue, before I plus what you did. I used to think that plus your previous opinion. For example, before I took that class, I used to think that students should choose all courses by themselves. Then you say, although plus a fact, it had never attracted my attention. For example, although required classes are common, it had never attracted my attention. Next, you say, unexpectedly, I plus what you did about 2 years ago, which completely changed my mind. For example, unexpectedly, I took a required history class about 2 years ago, which completely changed my mind. Then you say, it was at that time that I learned that plus your new opinion. After that, you say, that experience was truly precious because plus a specific reason. The fifth part is additional arguments. You say, admittedly, it is reasonable that plus acknowledging the other side has a point. Then you say, nevertheless, it should be pointed out that plus emphasizing your opinion is more important. In addition, it is a fact that plus adding another reason supporting your opinion. The final part is the conclusion. You say, overall, it is obvious that plus restating your main opinion. The logic of this template is very simple. You start with a topic, then present other people's opinions and your opinion. Then use your experience to prove your opinion, and finally conclude. Now, let's see how to use it with 2 example questions. First question, do you think that students should be able to decide exactly what they want to learn, or do you think they should follow a set course of study? Explain your reasoning. Start with, I am going to talk about whether students should design their own curriculum or follow a fixed program. Second part, background. When it comes to educational autonomy, people have different ideas due to different experience. Third part, opinion. Some believe that students should have complete freedom to choose what they learn. On the contrary, I personally believe that a balanced approach with a structured core curriculum complemented by elective choices is most beneficial. Fourth part, experience. I want to share my perspective because this topic brings me back to the last time I took a required class. Before I took that class, I used to think that complete freedom of choosing courses is utterly beneficial. Although compulsory classes are common, the value of guided lessons had never attracted my attention. Then say, unexpectedly, I took a mandatory history class about 2 years ago, which completely changed my mind. It was at that time that I learned that some compulsory classes could open my eyes to new ways of thinking. That experience was truly precious because it made me more knowledgeable in areas I would have otherwise ignored. Fifth part, additional arguments. Admittedly, it is reasonable that giving students full choice can increase motivation and engagement in their studies. Nevertheless, it should be pointed out that guided courses equip students with essential skills. In addition, it is a fact that structured learning exposes students to diverse fields, helping them discover unexpected interests. Final conclusion, overall, it is obvious that a mixed system with required courses and elective options best supports student growth and a comprehensive education. This is a complete answer. See how the template helps you fill the full 3 minutes with clear logic. Second question, what is an event in your culture that brings communities together? How do you think your community benefits from this event? What makes this question different from the first one is that we need to think of a specific traditional festival and extend two ideas from it. For example, we could take the Chinese New Year as an example and get along with two ideas. The first is that traditional festivals are good for community relations. And the second is that modern festivals are more appealing to the community. Then combine it with an experience to fit into the template. And you are okay. We'll use the template again. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Lunar New Year festival in my culture. When it comes to cultural events that unite communities, people have different ideas due to different experiences. Some believe that modern festivals are more appealing to communities. On the contrary, I personally believe that traditional festivals like Lunar New Year play an irreplaceable role in strengthening community bonds. I want to share my perspective because this topic brings me back to the last time I celebrated Lunar New Year with my extended family and neighbors. Before I participated in the full celebration, I used to think that it was just about having a big dinner and receiving red envelopes. Although Lunar New Year is widely observed, its profound meaning had never attracted my attention. Unexpectedly, I took part in organizing a community Lunar New Year gathering about 2 years ago, which completely changed my mind. It was at that time that I learned that this festival is a powerful tool for reunion, sharing, and renewing relationships. That experience was truly precious because I witnessed how people let go of past disagreements and supported each other with warmth, admittedly. It is reasonable that traditional events can be time-consuming and sometimes feel repetitive. Nevertheless, it should be pointed out that they provide a rare opportunity for different generations to interact and understand each other's lives. In addition, it is a fact that the shared identity and sense of belonging greatly enhances mutual trust within the community. Overall, it is obvious that the Lunar New Year festival is essential in maintaining the unity and emotional well-being of my community. Did you understand these two examples? Did you learn how to use this template? Watch the video and then find some practice questions to try yourself. Next time, I'll share more useful tips about the Duolingo English test. So I'll see you in the next video. Don't miss it.